Hello and welcome! Do you need a PC for your weapon in the dark? Enter the MSI Nightblade. What is the Nightblade? At first glance, it might just look like another ITX case to you, but there's more than meets the eye. This is a MSI Barebones PC. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, Barebones PCs are usually a case with the motherboard and power supply pre-installed. So if you're kind of indecisive about what you want, Barebones PCs are a great solution for first-timers to build on. So obviously, if you order a Nightblade, you'll get the Nightblade itself and a box of accessories. So let's see what's included. Opening it up, we have a Nightblade handle cover. Oh, okay. I wonder how that goes on. Ah, that's cool. So it's like a Velcro kind of thing you roll on, and then so you're not holding on to bare metal. That's really nice. Good job, MSI. Now we have a hard drive tray that also looks like it's exclusively for SSDs. All right, put that away. We have a power cord. We have more cables and accessories. We have the 2.5-inch hard drive slide. We have the AC antennas, SATA cable. Looks like fan splitter, PWM's fan splitter. We have a optical drive bay slim loading adapter, another SATA cable, and a bunch of screws and plugs for miscellaneous things. Moving on, we just have some documentation, series product guide, a driver disk. Don't use that. Try and download the latest from the manufacturer guys. We have a brief overview user guide, a full-size user guide, and a OC series overclocking guide. Cool. So before we tear apart the Nightblade to check out the interior, let's take a quick tour of the exterior. Okay, so for the front, we have a nice brushed metal finish. We have an MSI Gaming Badge right there and a slot load optical drive. For inputs and buttons, we have two USB 2s, two USB 3s, microphone, headphone, a OC button, a hard drive activity LED, and a wireless LED. That's nice to see. And finally, the power button on the left there. Now, like we saw in the accessories pack, there was a carrying handle padding. So this handy dandy handle actually makes it easier to carry your Nightblade to lands and doubles as a raised foot to help aid for exhaust for the video card, which is actually located on the bottom. On the left-hand side panel, we have some ventilation for the power supply. And on the right, we see the Dragon Gaming logo, as well as more ventilation, this time for the CPU cooler. And on the top, some more ventilation right there. Now, moving towards the back, we have the power plug, a 92mm fan. This is MSI's Dragon fan that spins up to 4,000 RPM. Yes, 4,000 RPM. And here we get our first glance at the included Z97 motherboard. Now this motherboard has somewhat of a different layout in terms of the inputs and outputs, as the audio panel is the first thing we see here as opposed to the usual keyboard and mouse inputs or USBs. But speaking of USBs, we do have 4 USB 3s, 4 USB 2s, 2 eSata ports, 2 HDMI ports, a SPDIF out, display port, killer NIC, and 2 spots for the wireless AC antennas we saw earlier in the accessories pack. One thing we noticed when we first looked at the Nightblade were these elongated thumb screws at the back. Now, NCIX Anthony was complaining that you can't actually use a screwdriver to take them out, but that's because these are purposely built for the Nightblade so that you can stack it vertically like so that if you were, going to LAN or just moving and you don't have much space to clear out where you can put it down like that, you can put it down like this and not have to worry about the back panel and the connectors being harmed, assuming you don't have anything plugged into the Nightblade. All right, so elongated screws aside, at the very bottom we see a 780 Ti installed. And you might be thinking, I thought this was a Barebones PC. It is. It's just that this is a special version of the Nightblade that we got from Joseph from MSI. Thank you, Joseph. They actually pre-installed a bunch of hardware into the Nightblade so that we can show off at what the Nightblade can really do. So that leads us to the very bottom panel of the Nightblade. We see a nice large fan filter and another glimpse at the 780 Ti. Now, all 4 sides of the Nightblade can be removed for accessibility. Let's start off with the left side. Now for the left side, you do need to take the screws out first, but it comes off easy like that. And here with that panel off, we see a nice dust cover here for the power supply, and as well as a huge motherboard cutout for the backplate. All right, moving on to the top, if we take off the nice included elongated screws, and that reveals the mSata hard drive tray that comes included with the Nightblade. It doesn't come populated like this one does with the Plex or mSata SSDs, but it will come with that bracket. So that's actually a pretty neat idea. And here we get a closer look at how the power supply fits in and how it's connected and how the power cable is routed to the back. Now, for the bottom, again, take off the elongated screws. All right. Put those aside, don't lose them, and that one should slide off just as easily. Pop that right off, and there we go. We see that nice 780 Ti, as well as you can see that there is extra room for a larger card to be put in, but I think a 780 Ti will be what most people will be fine with. And that leads us to the final panel, the right-hand side panel. Now, this panel in particular doesn't need any screws or tools to be removed. All you have to do is simply push out these latches here, like so, slide the cover back, and it's just that easy. Obviously, they're gonna make that panel the easiest to remove because that's where you're gonna probably be using the most. So first off, we see the slim load optical drive, as well as a optional bracket here for 120 mil and 140 mil fans. We will need to take this off screen, so we'll be right back. Okay, to remove this fan bracket, all you have to do, like I said, is take off the two screws. Then you slide it to the left here and you pull away. Now you can install water cooling radiators on this bracket, just so you can avoid maybe doing this. Now this cooler is mounted the wrong way, as people on Facebook might have already noticed. NCIX Anthony posted these photos. The airflow sticker is pointed directly to your GPU. Do not install your coolers this way. That's really bad for your GPUs. Anyway, moving along, we do see that slim load optical drive here. Just behind that is the Seagate hard drive, and just behind that is the 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply. And right next to the power supply, obviously, we have the proprietary Z97 MSI board. Now, just a quick rundown of what else we have in here. We have a i5 4690K, 16 gigs of DDR3 2133 MHz RAM, and 2 mSata 128 SSDs. Now, those SSDs do come courtesy of MSI's little bracket here. Now, the SSDs aren't included, but the bracket is, so you can shove 2 mSata SSDs up in this drive tray. Speaking of drive trays, we have another room for another 2.5-inch drive up top. So we got 2 here. You can fit a 3.5 here. And if you don't want to use a slot load optical drive, you can remove it, and we can use that bracket we saw earlier in the accessories pack for a total of 3 2.5-inch drives. So all in all, the MSI Nightblade has a lot to offer in the MITX range. Now, it might not be as small as the EVGA Hadron, but it is still able to pack a lot more into the chassis. It has a sturdy carrying handle for the LANs, and don't forget that overclocking the Nightblade is just a button touch away. With the OC button you can click, there is a red light that comes on. That's pretty cool. And at the time of filming, it is priced at, well, this configuration minus all the extra hardware, it is priced at $509.99 Canadian, and that does include the 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply and the Z97 MSI ITX board. Because remember, it is a bare bones system. Actually, let us know, would you rather build a system from scratch, or would you rather have the convenience of a bare bones starter kit? Leave a comment down below, like the video, and subscribe if you're brand new to the channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you later.